Sports with Kyrie Irving.
I got to say this, though, from Rashawn Marks and Joe Tsai, good for them.
And people can say, oh, Freddie, you're a Kyrie Irving hater. I don't hate on Kyrie Irving.
It's maybe the biggest catastrophe we've seen in sports about what this team could have been.
But what's the O-line, KYP, know your personnel? You got to know who you're getting involved with, your Kevin Durant.
But it gets to a certain point where enough is enough.
What did you think was going to happen when you two guys got together?
And everybody's using this word, how do you accommodate KD? They weren't worried about making it work for us. I'm not worried about accommodating Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. I'm worried about accommodating my franchise.
What is good with you today after July 4th? He's Jay Williams and Freddie Coleman in for the boys today on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, presented by Progressive Insurance on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80, and ESPN2. Oh, we're going to get to more of your phone calls regarding Kevin Durant and which superstar he needs to play next to and why, which superstar needs him at 888-ESPN. 888-729-3776. But you made the point because it was put out there by our man, Mark J. Spears of Fanscape, that Kevin Durant, a reunion to the Golden State Warriors, he floated that out there over the week on ESPN Radio. And you and I had a conversation yesterday, Jay Will, that the minute you heard that, and I could see it in your eyes right now, and I felt it in your voice, I didn't even see it in your face yesterday, that you said, man, Freddie, this is not a good idea.
As a fan of Kevin Durant's unicorn ability on the basketball court, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it because of how other people will then define his legacy by that, right? Now, going there the first time, I wouldn't have recommended it, but in his reasoning, it was because of basketball. I actually understood that from a basketball IQ perspective because the way Golden State plays with how their continuity in which they play off with Steph and with Clay and Draymond is really a beautiful thing. It's the way basketball should be played, right? So I get that. You go there, you win 2 world championships, you get 2 finals MVPs. But Freddie, you go to Brooklyn, it blows up the way it's blowing up now currently. Kyrie Irving is trying to get to L.A. to play with LeBron James, but he was just playing with you because of a deal. So even though we know the nuances of that didn't work out deal-wise, it still just looks bad, right? He's leaving Kevin Durant to go back to LeBron James.
Right.
So it makes you question that and who was leading and who was taking charge of that relationship.
Sure.
Even though this may not be true, that's where you start going with it, right? And then on top of that, the Golden State Warriors just won a damn championship.
We've seen this before.
And you got people out here talking. Key was like, Key straight up asked me, so what's really the difference between Harrison Barnes and Wiggins and KD? He's like, they all got you chips, right? And I was like, what? Key.
Yeah.
Key. And we talk about the details, right?
Sure.
KD's very different. And he wasn't saying that. He knows KD's different, right?
Keyshawn busting chops, who knew?
It all led to championships. So then people started running with that narrative. I'm like, see, y'all ain't going to do that. I ain't going to allow y'all to do that.
Right.
But if he were to find a way to go back after so you came here and then you won and you decided to do it, but you can't do it without Steph. You can't do it without Clay or Dre. And now after you saw them win, now you're going to run back with your tail between your legs. Even though we know it's not the case, people will make it out to be that way.
Yes.
And I would hate that for him individually. I would hate it for him.
Here's why you hate it for him. And I'm not trying to speak for another man, but I'm about to speak for another man.
I wouldn't let that deal go through.
Well, the deal, I believe it's not going to happen anyway.
I'm like, I'll stay here in Brooklyn. I'm not going back.
Yeah, but we'll put it this way. If you decide to do something like that, then you really give credence to what people have been saying about you, that you want to be a follower and you don't want to be a leader. So from that standpoint, I'm with you. I wouldn't want to see that for Kevin Durant. But something that you just said really struck me funny about this whole thing, why you don't want to see it. And here's why. Because you care a lot more for Kevin Durant's legacy as much as he does. The difference is when you're speaking out for him, he strikes back at people without receipts. And there are plenty of times that people say, see, that's why. That's why we say those things about you. And that's not to say that being thin-skinned is a problem. Hey, I don't walk in Kevin Durant's shoes. I don't know how he's supposed to feel. He can only determine that. But I know people kept clapping back at me that way, especially guys that I respected, that I grew up watching, wanting to be a basketball player. Yeah, it's going to hurt me to my soul. Say, why you keep criticizing me? But you can't keep giving people reasons. And you can't keep giving people enough evidence to say, this is why we say these things. So I understand, Jay, why you want that for Kevin Durant, because you dealt with it. You're sick and tired of people clapping at you when you're trying to do the right thing. To me, Kevin Durant tries to do the right thing. To me, he just goes about it in the wrong way when it comes to his basketball career and his legacy.
And here's the problem, though, Freddie, is the problem is that now that you're signed to this 4-year deal, like, and once again, I stated this in the first hour, I am all about player empowerment. Watching what LeBron James has been able to do at multiple franchises, even though it gets difficult, still the success rate is pretty high.
Absolutely.
Even though right now, like, they're in a little bit of a quell and people are starting like, oh, look what happens when fine, they won your championship 2.5 years ago. I get what have you done for me lately. But like I'm looking at the KD situation with Kyrie and I'm saying, man, I wish that there was a way that KD could find a team like a Portland where Dame, who is, granted, when he's not injured, but you know what you're going to get all the time.
Oaktown.
You
in
know
the
what
house.
time it is all the time. And there's also a part of me as, somebody that, as I've been around owners, I've talked to presidents of teams, I've thought about going down that direction in my life. There are certain junctures where it's like, yo, man, at the same time, I know you gave me a list of teams you want to go to. I don't have to move you anywhere. And I need you to know what time it is. I know how powerful you are. And if this goes to arbitration, then so be it. But just because you want to be moved because it didn't work out for what you needed us to do for your teammate,
Yeah.
I'm doing what's in the best interest of my franchise. And for me, unless I get a haul back, unless I'm getting 6, 7 first-round picks, I'm getting 2 all-star caliber players, some assortment that looks like that, that is a package bigger than what Minnesota, gave up for Rudy Gobert, you're not going anywhere, man. You're going to be right here. You're going to be a Brooklyn Net until we get the right opportunity. And if we don't, then we're going to have to manage that. And I'm going to challenge you to see how professional are you truly when it comes to, I know how professional you are to basketball, to the game of basketball, but the business of basketball, now I'm going to challenge you to see how professional you are in that regard.
Great stuff by Jay Will talking about the future. Kevin Durant, what that future is going to look like. As a matter of fact, in 35 minutes here on Keyshawn, Jay Will, and Max on ESPN Radio and ESPN2, I'm going to find out from Jay Will, what if the Brooklyn Nets don't trade Kevin Durant? That comes in about 35 minutes. But speaking of Kevin Durant, more of your calls, getting a lot of great reaction from you at 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. Which superstar would benefit the most from teaming up with Kevin Durant and why? Don in California, which one is it?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
We're good.
Appreciate
What's
you.
up,
Thanks
Don?
for taking
Appreciate
my
you.
call.
Absolutely.
What's up? What's going on, Jay? What's going on, guys? I got a few points if possible. Obviously, I think Memphis, nobody's ever talking about that. If he goes to Memphis with Ja and them, with that culture and what they got going, I mean, I remember the Grindhouse back in the day when Gasol, they've given the Warriors fits, right? And Curry always has his worst games there. So I think that would be a good spot with him. I think KD's going to surprise us, right? I remember when he went to the Warriors. No one had a clue. I think he's very unpredictable, so I think his next spot, it's just going to surprise everybody. Vegas, just on that train of thought, the Suns. Vegas has them as the favorite now, so I don't know what that means, and Brooklyn's not even in the conversation. So I don't know what that means, but that's a possible spot too. But there's nothing Warriors are going back to back. I'm a diehard Warrior fan. I've been watching them forever. There's nothing he can really do. Curry, the Warriors are just going to keep some people from winning.
Wait, Don, let me ask you a question. You're a Warriors fan. Would you want Kevin Durant back on the Warriors?
No, you're right. No, I don't think so. You look at it like you said, but the legacy, the culture, the fans. We just won one. I don't think they need him back. They want him back. But yeah, I remember you don't remember me back in the day, Jay. We go way back. I remember balling with you in San Ramon. I'm from California.
24-hour fitness, San Ramon, California, baby.
Way back. Yeah, Bishop Ranch, way back. You don't remember me, but you can ball. You can still ball, man. You're nice.
All right, man. I appreciate that. San Ramon, California, 24-hour fitness.
Yeah.
My guy, Carl Liebert. Yeah, I consulted for 24-hour fitness for a while. Worked out there.
What was that run like?
It was good runs.
I bet what Don still remembers.
Good runs.
Yeah.
Good runs out that way. But I agree with him kind of on the Golden State point, Freddie.
Me too.
That's what I'm saying. You just want a chip. And granted, some of your role pieces you no longer have now on your roster, but are you willing to give up a little bit of your culture?
No.
I'm not giving up Andrew Wiggins, seeing the way he defended. I'm not doing that to my core right now.
They already gave up their culture the first time, and then he just completely turned his back on it for whatever reason when it comes to Kevin Durant. So why would you want to have a chance to have somebody to forgive them for that? No. if I'm Golden State. There's no way in God's earth I'm doing that. There's no way. Nothing against Kevin Durant. But we won before you, we won with you, and we won without you again. What do we got to prove to you?
The same. I mean, I get how it works basketball-wise, but culture over everything.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Out in the Boogie Down Bronx, which superstar would benefit the most from teaming with Kevin Durant and why?
Hey guys, long time listener, first time caller.
Appreciate
Love y'all show, man.
What up,
Thank
baby?
you. Appreciate you.
I think that for sure, Luka Doncic could definitely benefit the most from Kevin Durant because they have like this yin and yang between Luka Doncic is like more bubbly, more fun personality, and I think KD needs a little bit of that too because you know they have some pieces in place where they could have possibly got through it, and now with the departure of Jalen Brunson, KP's gone. They need the size. They need more firepower on that team. I feel like he'll definitely benefit from Luka.
Oh, look, man, I'm telling you, Audi, like the thought experiment of KD and Luka on the same squad, I mean, has me like a giddy little girl. I mean, to think about what that would be.
The GLG, Giddy Little Girl Theory.
It would be so next level because of the skill set on the court and how Luka is a facilitator. And I agree with what he said personality-wise to lighten the mood for KD. It feels like there's some heaviness that comes with that, right? Heavy is the head who wears the crown.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what does Brooklyn get back in return? Like, and that's the biggest thing. When you look at these trades, you're saying, oh, Luka and KD, it sounds great when you have their names together in the bucket.
Right.
But if you're Brooklyn, what are you giving me back? Other than draft assets, you have nothing to give me back.
See, I don't even care about the draft assets. I like the fact that people are matching up superstars with him that would benefit each other. It's not just, okay, it's just benefiting Kevin Durant or just benefiting the superstar. He said, this is why both would benefit. And we've heard that so far from people, whether it's Luka, Jason Tatum, Damian Lillard. So I get it. In the NBA, things got to match up. I don't mind. And you know me, I'm not a hypothetical person. I don't like fantasy land. I don't mind this kind of fantasy land because of people trying to make sense with reality. The reality is, to your point, what if the Brooklyn Nets don't wind up trading Kevin Durant? And that is something we're going to dive into in about 30 minutes here on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max with Jay Williams. I'm Freddie Coleman, but we switch gears to the National Football League. Two quarterbacks are getting a lot of love in before the preseason happens. We wonder if that's actually going to be the case in the regular season. That's next on ESPN Radio and ESPN.